And we are live. All right. Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray, award-winning composer, here to talk to you about one of the composing techniques that I like
What's
to
up,
use.
team? This is Eddie
Just
Gray.
go ahead and mute myself. All right, cool. All right, so what I want to do, I want to garner an idea really quickly. I got to get out of here in like 20, 30 minutes, but how do I do so in a way where it can be fresh, inspirational, and still get me from point A to point Z, right? So this is a composition technique that I want to share with you. And so in order to utilize it, you're going to need an iPhone, an iPad, however you want to do it. You can have any sound source that basically emits sound. So I've got Launchpad, but you can use any app, free, purchased, whatever. And so we're going to connect that via a lightning cable. You can also do this with Bluetooth, but I find it to be really locked in and secure with an iPhone lightning cable. And so then from there, I want you to go to your audio Midi settings. So I've got that already set up here. And so what you want to do is find your iPhone, iPad, and then you want to enable it. And so what's going to happen is the device will now become an input inside of Logic or your DAW. So it's enabled. We're now going to go to Logic and we're going to hook it up so that our input says iPhone. All right, so they've made this really easy. In the past, you used to have to get like a third-party device, and now it's pretty cake. So here, check out the working idea that I've got working. This first synth I got from the Launchpad. Then I just wrote a beat on top of it using Machine. And then from there, I added a percussion part also from Machine. And something I want to point out before I play this is that your smart tempo settings need to be set up in such a way where when you record the information, either A, the information, the sound source is locking in or conforming to the project tempo. So in this case, my BPM is 100. So it doesn't matter if the loop that I play is is at 120 BPM or 150 or 70. It will always conform to 100 BPM. Of course, you can do it the other way. If you know enough about Logic, you know that there's a feature called Adapt Project Tempo. And so this is a kind of a whole nother beast. We're not going to do that today. For now, we're going to keep this at keep tempo, which is default. All right, so I'm going to play you what I have, and then we're going to go ahead and put some more stuff in here, okay? Here we go. Wait a minute, I realize you may not be hearing that. I wonder, you know what, I'm just going to go through Zoom just to be safe. So just give me one sec. Man, I've been in a world of IT this morning. We were drafting out and playing with Wirecast. Is something that we're working on implementing in our workflow here, and it's been quite the whirlwind with IT, man. But we're getting close. We're getting close. All right, so let's go back in here. Make sure you hear it proper. So we're in we're in Logic here. Check it out. Okay, so that's kind of the working idea, right? Well, where I got that synthesizer was from right here. Check this out. No, not that one. So what I'm proposing is that we use a third-party app. We put it inside of our mainframe. Of course, you could be doing this inside of the Loops browser, or I'm sorry, the Live Loops grid, or you could do it in the tracks area. Either way, however you want to do it is fine.
I'm going to go ahead and stay within the tracks area. So let me find something else that works. Pretty cool. Okay, I like that synth right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and record that synth. Um, you don't necessarily have to record it with everything else. I guess I can, but remember the most important part is smart tempo is on, and so whatever you record will conform to project tempo. If you want to give it a better chance of landing, you can change the tempo inside of your app. So I'm already set to 100. Everything's looking good. I'm gonna hit record, and I believe it's this one. Let me just check one. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I'll stop the idea for now. I'll turn that off. And then I just kind of need to line it up a little bit better. So I'm going to take the main synth and then just maybe nudge this to the left a bit. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, let's move it over a little bit more. Okay, I like it. Nice idea. It works for now. Let's go ahead and edit it so it looks good on the screen. Let's do 12 for now. All right. And then by way of, getting the information out of the way, let's add a wider plugin. Let's see if I go in here. Let's type in wider. And let's move this out to the side a little bit, okay? So why would you do this? For clarity, just to position things in the stereo mix. Let's see. Okay, that seems to work pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and add kind of artificial reverb harmony up on top. So usually when I'm starting out, I'm not thinking too much about chroma. I'm not thinking too much about the decisions. I'm just trying to get some information on the screen. I'm just trying to get some thoughts on paper. So we're just gonna put something that is reliable, dependent, and then we're gonna pitch this up. So we want the signal going into the reverb to be pitched up. So for that, I'll use sound shifter pitch. Again, consistent. I know what it's gonna do. I know how it's gonna do it. And so we're gonna rock with that. All right, let's listen to this signal now. I'm gonna isolate that. All right, so here's without it. All right, so it sounds kind of thin, unassuming. And then now with this. It's never a bad idea if you want the reverb to have a little bit more character, to just add a little bit of delay, just to kind of move it along. Let's go with H. Start with a little preset here, and then just reduce the feedback. going to double that snare and make it have a lot of reverb. So I'm doing that with machine. And so we want to change the input now, right? I'm no longer going to use the iPhone. Although we could come back to it, we'll see. But for sure, I know I'm going to want to record another snare. I was thinking something really wet in the back. So let's give that a spin. Let's add some verb. See, I could probably do that from inside a machine. Let's see what's up. So I'm gonna go output sound. All right, let me see. Wait. Let's create another track here. All right, double the snare. Okay. All right, let's turn on the input. We want this to be right there. Okay. Do one thing. Where is this? Devices. Software monitoring. All right, cool. All right, that's all I need. You can quantize that just to make sure everything lines up properly. It's amazing that you can quantize audio now. Such an easy way. Um, Probably spent some time lining these up as well using flex time. So you would just go in here, line everything up to the proper snare. So like maybe zoom around these two, make sure everything's in line. It is. That looks good. Okay, and then I'll just kind of maybe bring this one back a little bit. Not that much. So yeah, take the time to make sure everything sounds the way it needs to sound. Hold on, let me do that. See what that sounds like. Okay, and then I think maybe every other snare. We're gonna check it out. But let me use the scissor tool, hold Option, and cut that in equal divisions. So maybe for just as an experiment, I'll delete every other one. And then again, not trying to think too much. I'm just going to choose Chromaverb again. And I just want to hear this idea in action. All right, I like it. I'm going to bury it in the mix a bit more. Yeah, it sounds really nice. It's something that should be subtle, right? You really shouldn't listen to it. You shouldn't hear it outright. So a lot of people always ask me, hey, what's damping EQ for? So we know we have an EQ curve here, which can manipulate the reverb, but what's this one for? Well, this one has to do with the decay. So the decay of the reverb has its own kind of EQ settings, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the low end is low, so it's not getting in the way. and then I'll just bring up the high end a little bit. So now listen to the end of the tail. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna make sure that keeps moving, in the stereo spectrum. So I'll just put a pan man or something that is the equivalent. Let's make it move pretty. Whoa, what happened here? No, hold on. Okay, good. Something that's moving slow. I don't want it to be too active. So you can control how long is that going to take, right? So I'm just going to go 4 bars and see what that sounds like. A little bit of organizing. Okie doke. To go back to the iPhone, and then also, we could do something like actually playing a bass. I mean, that could kind of make it fresh, Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's try and put some bass in here. Let me think of a bass. Obviously, the possibilities are limitless. So, this is still kind of in the idea phase where you're like, I can hear something coming from it. And then, of course, like, do you want to work for it? And do you want to get into it? Do you want to do the work necessary to make sure it gets done? Yeah, so that's kind of the way I would just generate an idea, kind of get the ball rolling. This is very much like a hip hop way of going about it, right? You kind of form 16-bar loop, and then you just kind of stay within that frame, and then you work diligently to build something that makes sense, you know. Another thing we could do is just to add some basic hi-hats is, add a drummer. It's one of my favorite tricks to do. It could be electronic music, it could be hip hop. Why don't I go with hip hop for right now? But, of course, we already have drums. Let's just think, what would it sound like if they gave me some hi-hat ideas? So forget about the kick, snare. I'm just gonna rock with the hi-hats here, and let's see what this sounds like. All right, I'll change the presets. Yeah, so that that works. One thing that I always do though is um I don't really lean into the samples that they use. So I'll either replace these on my own or I'll just hit key command Y and then just start to fish for something else. So let me look for the hi-hat that's actually being played. All right, so it's this guy right here. So I'm going to click on it. Then the library is going to go ahead and update to help me out. And then let's just start auditioning some hi-hats here. Man, I know that's not like what you would typically expect, but man, I really like that. I like how weird it sounds here. Yeah, I mean that sounds interesting to me. I definitely would spend some time, playing with that and seeing what else I could do. Maybe I could try using an LFO and playing with volume or pan. Let me just hear it real quick. Yeah, let's play with maybe pitch and a couple of different things. So let's see. How do I want to do this? I want to say I want the target to be volume. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead, play with the amount, and then let me see what happens there. Just give me a sec. All right, so you can hear there's some like variation there. Let me lift this up a little bit higher. If you don't hear it as much here, let me place it on pan, and I think you'll hear what I mean. It's gonna go left and right. Cool. Let me actually hear that. So that sounds pretty good. Of course, by the way, when you're trying to get that sound, you're not concerned with all the specifics. So yeah, of course, I'm gonna control click and convert to MIDI region whenever we get there, right? But as of now, I'm just trying to get that texture to work. So um, LFO tool as well. I'm gonna choose this one. And I'm gonna do kind of the very same thing. My target this time is gonna be the pitch though. Maybe I'll do fine pitch. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But for right now, let me just go pitch. And basically, I'm just trying to get it to move a little bit, not just with panning or volume, but with the actual pitch. So then let's see what that looks and feels like. right, cool. All right, well, look, I got to get out of here, but just keep writing, keep finding new ways of getting it done. You know, right now at HF Music Academy, we're having a 45-day challenge. And so I've already submitted, I don't know, close to 20 songs. And so we're trying to see how many songs we can write, how many songs we can submit for music licensing, and of course, how many W's we can put up for our careers. I mean, that's the whole point, is that you move your career forward in spite of external circumstances, in spite of what's going on outside of you. You got to just keep moving and keep finding that motivation, right? It doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. You still have to make it happen. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Eddie Gray, hfmusicacademy.com. Take good care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. I'm going to be on a lot more. I just finished a big job for Apple, and so I've been super preoccupied just preparing materials and courses for them. And so now I'm back in action. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.